Several episodes ago, a Tony in the Trenches prompted me to dedicate a whiteboard segment as to the true cost of borrowing money to buy a second home and the expenses that went along with doing so. Upon watching this episode, one of my own clients sent an email to affirm what I was teaching, and that is this. The cost of getting in the second home is not the real issue. It's all the other ongoing expenses that one doesn't know exist with owning a second home that can come back to bite you. Which is all the more reason having a trained retirement planning firm on your side before making a huge financial decision in retirement can save you a lot of grief and possibly save you a lot of money. Which is why in the studios today I have with us our very own Juanita Jackson to my right, and of course Craig Davis. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so both of you, the reason I've got you on this show today, we're coming into this more and more. We're going to talk about this in the next segment, but there's more and more reasons that retirees are borrowing money for various things, and in some cases having to either borrow against their home or borrow money for a second home or moving, downsizing, etc. And I wanted you all to speak to the fact that we assist in that in some ways, but also your background in the mortgage business. So Juanita, if you could just very briefly tell us your background there before coming to Tony Walker Financial.
So before coming to Tony Walker Financial, I worked both in commercial lending and also in mortgage lending. So licensed in several states and assisted clients with buying first homes, second homes, rental homes, things like that.
And Craig?
For 3 years or so, was a licensed loan originator in a number of states. And so same, helping with mortgages for primaries, but also sometimes for second homes or especially vacation kind of homes.
So you all know that world of what these underwriters are looking for. So Juanita, give a typical example of kind of what we're coming across and where we step in to help sometimes to see if people can even qualify for a loan.
So we often get people calling in and they want to do one of two things. They're either downsizing or they're buying a home that they've dreamed of. They're finally ready to do that. Sometimes actually they're caring for grandchildren. They're actually upsizing a little bit. So, or possibly a second home. So a lot of questions with that and how they can sometimes want to leverage their current home to access the cash they need to buy a home quickly for a cash purchase. They might need a proof of funds letter from us. Otherwise, they need to show proof of income. So what they're looking for, what the mortgage lender is looking for is solid proof of income for about 3 years. They're also, of course, looking at debt and debt to income ratios. However, what the calls that I receive, we're really needing to be able to prove to the lender that they are able to pay the mortgage payment.
So how does that work, though? Let's say someone's just retired 6 months ago. Obviously, they don't have the same wages, that income. And even though we're going to start sending them money, possibly even mailbox money, the lenders will usually accept that. How do they look at that? And let's say that transition since retirement and now they're living off fixed assets.
They're wanting to see that you have proof of ongoing income for at least 3 years. Usually they're often already receiving Social Security, so that is counting towards the debt to income ratio, as well as monthly distributions that they're taking from their retirement account. And we can provide proof of that and evidence of how long that will last for them.
And picture yourself back in the underwriting days and you're understanding that, Craig. What else can come up or what might an underwriter look at in this transition when somebody's in retirement and having to qualify for these loans?
A couple of surprises for people. Sometimes you would have credit score issues because people just had not been using credit. They hadn't been borrowing money. You haven't used credit in a certain amount of time. Your score could go down. As you're paying off debt, your score actually will go down.
That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
And people will sometimes feel like, well, this is a reflection of me as a person. No, you have sometimes just no score reporting because you're just not using credit at all. And so maintaining a credit score is kind of important. Or people might transition into some sort of retirement part-time work, and those funds might not be countable as income for mortgage purposes.
Let's get back to that, and either one of you can, I hadn't even thought about this. So, I don't really borrow much money anymore. Is a credit card, I won't get into credit scores too much, but is an ongoing credit card, and if you pay it off regularly, does that keep your credit score up high? Or speak to that if you would, Juanita.
Absolutely. So you do want to maintain the ability to have credit, and using a credit card, sometimes actually it can help to raise your score. Also, if you leave a small balance instead of paying it all the way off, it also can leap a score a little bit if we're just barely under trying to qualify. So sometimes that can work quickly to repair credit, showing that you're responsible, you're using credit, you're borrowing, and you're paying back. That's what they want to see.
And speak to the fact of how we at Tony Walker Financial, I think we go above and beyond, quite frankly. I mean, we help with these types of things. We don't get any money for it, but what satisfaction does that give you all personally to know that we're not only helping with their retirement funds, but trying to help people achieve some of their goals and objectives that are really fall outside of what we normally do?
It's exciting to hear when they're getting a new home or looking forward to that. We can kind of help them through some of the pitfalls, like waiting too long to get pre-approved and finding the dream home and somebody else actually gets the offer on it. So we help them to be prepared in advance if they'll just call and talk to us about what they're thinking.
Yeah, those are happy calls when people talk about, I'm buying a lake property, my kids and grandkids, we're all going to be able to vacation together. Those are exciting things to be a part of.
Yeah, I like to say those are live well, die broke moments. And I think that just brings so much joy to us to be able to help people with their finances, but also to see them spend and enjoy that money. And in this case, in some cases, the debt is a good thing. I mean, debt is not always bad is the theme of our show. So we just appreciate so much, not only what you do in terms of handling the Schwab accounts and your rollover ability with the 401ks, Craig, but also just your background in the mortgage business. And it's interesting how much this comes up, and while we're a resource if people do have questions, especially our clients. So thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed that video. If you'd like, check out these other clips. And be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button for more videos.